Whatever happened to the American sedan? Once the unquestioned king of suburban driveways, highways, and family vacations, the humble four-door car used to be the heartbeat of American life. It was more than just transportation, it was a symbol of middle-class success, freedom, and identity. But today, that same icon has all but vanished from our roads, quietly replaced by towering SUVs and sprawling crossovers. Why did America fall out of love with its favorite family car? What caused the downfall of the once beloved sedan? And more importantly, is there a road back for this fallen legend? Buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the rise and fall of the American sedan. Golden age of the sedan. In the decades following World War II, the United States was undergoing rapid social and economic transformation. Suburbs were sprouting up across the country, and with them came the need for reliable, affordable, and comfortable transportation. Enter the American sedan. More than a car, the sedan became the family room on wheels. It represented everything post-war America aspired to: stability, prosperity, and progress. Models like the Chevrolet Bel Air, Ford Fairlane, and Plymouth Fury weren't just practical. They were stylish, luxurious, and forward-thinking. Chrome grills, sweeping fins, and two-tone paint jobs turned sedans into rolling pieces of Americana. With roomy interiors, smooth rides, and enough trunk space to haul everything from groceries to baseball gear, the sedan became a fixture in driveways coast to coast. Through the 1950s and into the 1960s, sedans only grew in popularity and prestige. They evolved with technology and consumer demand, offering better engines, power steering, automatic transmissions, and more advanced safety features. At the heart of this movement was the idea that a sedan wasn't just a vehicle, it was a lifestyle. It was the American dream wrapped in steel and chrome. Peak popularity. By the time the 1980s rolled around, the American sedan had become more than just a cultural icon, it was a commercial juggernaut. These were the golden years of mass production, innovation, and design excellence in the sedan market. Models like the Ford Taurus, Buick LeSabre, Chevrolet Caprice, and Dodge Intrepid dominated the streets. Automakers were responding to consumer demand for better fuel economy, more safety features, and increasing levels of comfort and tech. The oil crisis of the 1970s had permanently changed how Americans viewed gas consumption, pushing manufacturers to improve efficiency without compromising performance. Sedans like the Taurus offered strong V6 engines, competitive mileage, and revolutionary design elements such as flush-mounted headlights and aerodynamic profiles. This era also marked the rise of digital dashboards, anti-lock brakes, and airbags, once futuristic concepts that became standard features in family sedans. Interiors were more plush and spacious than ever, with soft touch materials, upgraded sound systems, and cruise control becoming common. The sedan wasn't just the practical choice, it was the smart, stylish one. Even in the face of increasing competition from Japanese and European imports, American sedans held their ground thanks to loyalty, familiarity, and an evolving sense of refinement. Tipping point. But change was on the horizon. As the 20th century drew to a close, so too did the golden reign of the American sedan. Subtle at first, the shift began with the rising popularity of sport utility vehicles. At first seen as rugged, niche alternatives, SUVs and their younger siblings, the crossovers, quickly gained favor among a growing demographic, the adventurous family consumer. Where sedans offered comfort and tradition, SUVs brought height, space, and a sense of capability. Consumers were drawn to their elevated driving position, enhanced visibility, and cargo flexibility. The traditional sedan started to look limited. It couldn't tow a trailer. It didn't handle rough roads, and it definitely didn't scream active lifestyle the way a Ford Explorer or a Toyota 4Runner did. At the same time, American roads were getting more crowded and safety concerns began to shape purchasing decisions. Many buyers gravitated toward the perceived safety of larger vehicles. SUVs felt more protective, even if that wasn't always the case in practice, and so, slowly but surely, the sedan began to lose its edge. Great shift. By the 2010s, the writing was on the wall. Americans weren't just flirting with SUVs and crossovers anymore, they were fully committed. And the auto industry responded. Ford made headlines in 2018 when it announced it would cease production of nearly all its sedans, including longtime staples like the Fusion and Taurus. Chevrolet followed suit, retiring the Impala and Cruze. Even Dodge, once known for its powerful sedans, pivoted towards high-performance SUVs. It wasn't just consumer preference, it was economics. SUVs and trucks had higher profit margins, they sold faster, They were easier to market to families, adventurers, and luxury seekers alike. Crossovers like the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, and Ford Escape exploded in popularity, offering the best of both worlds, the drivability of a car with the space of an SUV. Meanwhile, sedans became afterthoughts. Once central to a brand's identity, they were now niche players, relegated to rental lots and the few buyers who still appreciated their low stance and smooth ride. Why the sedan fell out of favor? So what really caused the downfall? The reasons are many, and they're deeply intertwined. Cultural shifts played a huge role. America's love affair with the open road evolved into a passion for flexibility and adventure. Image mattered more, utility mattered more, and unfortunately for the sedan, its image had aged. Additionally, automakers stopped innovating in the sedan space. The same models were being rehashed with little excitement or differentiation. Compare that to the explosion of options in the SUV world: compact, subcompact, full-size, luxury, off-road, hybrid. The list was endless. And let's not forget the design aspect. Sedans were low and long, SUVs were tall and commanding. In the age of self-expression and status signaling, height won. Sedans aren't dead yet. Despite the odds, sedans aren't entirely extinct. They just shifted their identity. No longer the default family car, the modern American sedan has found new life in luxury, performance, and electric markets. Take the Cadillac CT5, for example. With turbocharged power, digital displays, and plush interiors, it's not your grandfather's sedan, it's a refined statement piece. Or the Dodge Charger, which continues to fly the flag for muscle sedans with unapologetic V8 power and street cred. But perhaps the real resurrection lies in the EV world. The Lucid Air and Tesla Model S are redefining what a sedan can be. They offer blistering acceleration, cutting-edge tech, and long-range capability that rivals and even surpasses some SUVs. In this new age of mobility, where innovation trumps tradition, sedans are quietly carving out a new space. And it makes sense. Their low center of gravity and aerodynamic design make them perfect platforms for electric drivetrains. They're stable, efficient, and sleek, exactly what the EV buyer is looking for. Why the sedan still matters: for many Americans, the sedan will always be more than a vehicle. It's the memory of learning to drive in your dad's Crown Victoria, the road trip to grandma's in a Dodge Dynasty, prom night in a borrowed Impala. It's ingrained in our culture, immortalized in movies, music, and memory. Collectors continue to restore classic sedans to their former glory. Car shows are filled with gleaming examples from every decade: Bel Airs, Thunderbirds, Continentals, and Cutlasses, preserved like rolling time capsules. The love hasn't disappeared, it's just changed lanes. Designers today still borrow from the clean lines, balanced proportions, and comfort-first ethos that sedans perfected. Even as the roads fill with SUVs, the DNA of the American sedan lives on. The end of the road or a new beginning? The American sedan may have lost its crown, but it hasn't lost its soul. Its fall from dominance isn't just a story of changing markets. It's a reflection of how we, as a society, evolve. Our needs shift. Our tastes change. But what remains is a deep-rooted appreciation for what sedans once stood for: freedom, identity, and the open road. Whether reborn as luxury cruisers, electric innovators, or cherished classics, the American sedan is still writing its story. And for those of us who remember what it felt like to slide behind the wheel, turn the key, and drive off into the horizon, it will never truly disappear. If you enjoyed this ride through automotive history, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more where this came from.